Live from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN Television News. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines comes to you compliments Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
Freedom is driven to pursue that passion that keeps you up at night and makes you smile in your sleep. Freedom is bold to embrace the possibilities that can open up your world and conquer new heights. Freedom is fabulous, with bits and pieces that enhance the quality of your life. Freedom is what you do with the flexibility to change path or direction when you need to. Freedom breeds ambition and purpose while having loads of fun along the way. But most of all, freedom is well-deserved for the road traveled and the journey still to come. Unleash your freedom with Nexa Credit Union. Offer ends August 31st, 2023. Call us on 440-1354 or visit our website to pre-apply. Apply now. Freedom awaits.
From GBN, this is Network News for Tuesday, July 11, 2023. In the headlines, Calvin Frank to be sentenced on July 28 for the gruesome killing of his former lover, Lindy Skinner Moraine. Prince Harry and Alden Joseph await sentencing for rape on July 28. Grenada hosts 56th annual meeting of the Caribbean Food Crops Society. Also in the broadcast regionally, Barbados tells UN member states time for decisive action on attaining the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Internationally, NATO refuses to give Ukraine timeline on joining the alliance. First in the sports news, first phase of Netball Grenada Netball Festival to climax this weekend. Stay with us, we'll be back after this.
The first segment of the news comes to you compliments Soft Weave Bathroom Tissue.
Have you heard about the new Soft Weave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Soft Weave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue, available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Soft Weave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information.
Good evening, I'm Kenroy Baptiste. Calvin Frank from Spring St. George will soon know his fate. He will be sentenced on July 28 for the gruesome killing of his former lover, Lindy Skinner Moraine, in June 2021. Nisha Paul has this update.
Lindy Skinner Moraine, a food vendor from Jean Anglais St. George, met her unfortunate demise after being stabbed multiple times about her body following a disagreement with Calvin Frank over money she owed to him. Prior to Skinner Moraine's death, police claimed Frank, who is a driver by profession, sought assistance to retrieve the cash. Officers from the South St. George police station intervened and both parties reportedly agreed to a settlement, but the matter turned violent shortly after. Frank reportedly broke into her rented apartment in Jean Anglais, St. George, and delivered over 33 stab wounds to her body. Frank, who was 33 years old at the time of his arrest, was initially charged with capital murder, attempted non-capital murder, and housebreaking. However, the prosecutor accepted a plea of guilt for the offense of non-capital murder and did not offer any evidence on the other charges. Skinner Moraine's death was the first homicide recorded in 2021. Frank is being represented in the matter by attorneys Anselm Clouden and Jerry Edwin. He faces a maximum penalty of life imprisonment for the offense of non-capital murder. For GBN News, I'm Nisha Paul.
Meanwhile, 25-year-old landscaper Vincent St. David, Prince Harry, and Alden Joseph, a 29-year-old laborer of Dudma St. David, also scheduled for sentencing in the High Court on July 28 for the offenses of rape and robbery with violence. Here's another Nisha Paul update.
Prince Harry and Alden Joseph were jointly and indictably charged by officers attached to the Criminal Investigations Department with 2 counts of burglary and robbery with violence. Harry was also charged with the summary offense of wounding and 1 count of rape, while Joseph was charged with 2 counts of rape. The charges stemmed from incidents which occurred at Syracuse St. David on January 1st, in which both men allegedly broke into 2 separate houses at night and committed the offenses. A woman and a man were reportedly violated sexually during the commission of the offenses. Attorney Jerry Edwin is representing both men in the cases, which went straight to the High Court via paper committal. In a previous interview, Attorney Edwin explained that his only plan for action is to beg for some level of mercy for his clients.
There is nothing that could be said that is exculpatory, that is to absolve them of their role here. We know that drugs and alcohol were involved, but a woman was violated in the most horrendous way. And I have told them that my role here in representing them is to really make a plea in mitigation before the court. So I'm standing here as their lawyer, but I do not expect to mount any defense in this case, except to ask the court for mercy and justice to be married so that this matter can quickly be resolved and the victim in this case find some way to bring closure, because we are seeing way too many of these offenses.
Both Harry and Joseph are currently on remand at the Richmond Hill prison pending sentencing. They each face maximum penalties of 30 years imprisonment on the rape charge and 15 years on the charge of robbery with violence. For GBN News, I'm Nisha Paul.
Other news, Grenada is hosting the 56th annual meeting of the Caribbean Food Crop Society in conjunction with the Caribbean Agricultural Extension Providers Network. We can tell you the meeting aims to build a sustainable food system for the region. Rita Pitt-Thomas tells us more.
Increasing resiliency in the food system in the Caribbean by linking and modernizing agricultural extension and research is a theme chosen for the 56th annual meeting of the Caribbean Food Crop Society in conjunction with the Caribbean Agricultural Extension Providers Network. The conference was officially launched at the Grenada Trade Center on Monday and will conclude on Friday. The World Health Organization has predicted that 8% of the world's population will face hunger, and there is concerns that the world is moving further away from its goal of ending hunger, food insecurity, and malnutrition in all its forms by 2030. Vice Chair of the Caribbean Agricultural Extension Provider Network, Janelle Joseph, provide details about what the week-long session will entail.
Over this coming week, we are going to be exposed to presentations and discussions surrounding our most important activity, agriculture. We can expect to hear and learn about innovations in research, training, and development, all from our regional perspective. And I must add, we do look forward to it.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Aaron Francois, said the theme for this year's meeting fits perfectly with his ministry's transformational goal.
Your team cannot be more relevant at this time, even for us here in Grenada, where we are confronting the issue of how do we make sure that our extension services are up to the task of providing support to the agricultural sector. And we look forward during the course of this week to very fruitful discussions.
The annual conference comes on the heels of the recently concluding meeting of the OECS Council of the Ministers for Agriculture. Adrian Thomas, Minister for Agriculture in Grenada, said the focus of the meeting helps to further the OECS aim of building a sustainable food system for the region.
These initiatives are in the context of the commitments of CARICOM to reduce its food input bill, estimated at $5 billion in 2019, by 20% by 2025. The focus on increasing the resiliency of the food systems in the Caribbean by linking and modernizing agricultural extension and research adds another dimension to the quest to improve food and nutrition security. It takes the discussion beyond the territory of the programs and projects and towards the strategies for successfully implementing these projects to the benefit of villages, communities, districts, parishes, and by extension, the country.
Rena P. Thomas, GBN News.
Now, the Climate Smart Agriculture and Rural Enterprise Program, SIAP, has collaborated with St. Patrick's Organization for Development and JCS Enterprises to host a sustainable training program for sea moss farming. The rest of the details in this report.
A number of sea moss farmers in St. Patrick are now better equipped to successfully cultivate sea moss, having participated in a sustainable training program which took place at the Soteres Breakwater. The training focused primarily on cultivating and managing Gracilaria sea moss, showcasing 3 cultivation methods: the monoline system and 2 variations of bamboo raft systems. Farmers received detailed instructions on the essentials of tying and spacing, crucial factors for successful cultivation and higher yields. Agriculture and Fisheries Representative in the Senate, Roderick Sinclair, was there to offer support.
And if we can grow these things in Grenada in a sustainable way, which is what I'm seeing here, using the bamboo, and all of those things, this is excellent. But not only that, the sort of research our good brother Mr. Noel and others have shown us today, it means that even among ourselves, we can continue to do our own technique. But how do we do it? Amidst protecting the turtles, the fishing, because those are challenges that are unique to our space.
The floating raft method was deemed the most effective approach for cultivating sea moss. The training was facilitated by Donnell Noel. He recommended the use of bamboo rafts as a preferred method to that of processed floating devices and netting in order to protect the sea moss from potential harm.
Now, the bamboo raft method allows us to be as efficient and environmentally friendly as possible. It allows our lines that we cultivate sea moss on to be very close without causing any major disturbance. For instance, them getting intertwined and the sea moss breaking off and so forth. And the bamboo is not a pollutant, so if it breaks free or it gets loose for whatever reason, that bamboo will is biodegradable and will decompose without causing any pollution.
With predial larceny a constant challenge affecting sea moss farmers, CSA coordinator at SIAP, Kenley Edwards, emphasized the urgent need for the passing of Predial Larceny Amendment Act to address this problem.
This is something that must be addressed because this is a livelihood, and when someone puts the effort into a particular production and then for them to suffer these losses, it could be disheartening. And we know that this is a very lucrative, if I may say, product that has several benefits that is good for us as humans to consume, and I want us to continue to support.
The exercise organized by the St. Patrick Organization for Development was aimed at promoting sustainable self-employment opportunities for the residents of St. Patrick. Jefferson Diver, president of SPOD, encouraged more individuals from the parish to engage in sea moss farming.
They say that St. Patrick's are the poorest set of people, but if the people get involved into the production of sea moss, planting and stuff, I think we could get out of this saying that we are poor, and I think that we can benefit from it. I myself was never interested in it, but coming here today and learning so much. I have a boat myself. I decided to go up the island and start planting. I just spoke to Mr. Merriman in terms of planting. So the people around the area can get involved, and I think that's a good thing for the parish.
Christina John, GBN News.
This is Network News. We're live from the Grenadian capital. Still ahead from us. Eden Law Caribbean's constitutional motion to end flogging in Grenada is scheduled for October. We'll talk about that. See you in a while.
That's going around the globe, soca not just for carnival. Watch mass and watch bacchanal, soca gone international. That's going around the globe.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Thinking about your new home? Think easy. Think a Republic Bank Home Easy Loan. Think affordable. Think convenience. Think Republic.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3. Republic makes home easy.
Wow, that was such a breeze.
Own your home with ease.
So whether laying that first brick or purchasing an existing home, we've got you covered. Republic Bank will get you those keys hassle-free in no time.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Apply for a Home Easy Loan today for a chance to win a cash prize. Getting your new home is easy with Republic Bank.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Terms and conditions apply.
RENDEC, Community Partnership Initiative.
The classrooms that were refurbished as a result of this project really were not conducive to installing ICT into the classroom. Many of the windows were not functional. The security to the actual rooms themselves were insufficient. At the Maribor campus, the roof was also termite infested. The college is extremely appreciative of the contribution of GBN to this project to really enhance learning through the use of information and communications technology.
It's the 4th edition of Hubbard's Live Free for 1 year promotion. Cuatro Punto Cero. It's unbelievably amazing. You can win free fuel, free drinks, cash prizes, free property and vehicular insurance, free cable, TV and internet, free electricity, free coke, free water, free cooking gas, free paint supply, free passes to Sunshine Promotion events for 2023, free groceries, all for 1 whole year. And every winner receives a lunch package. Be sure to fill out the entry forms and enter it into the marked entry boxes at all Hubbard's departments and at participating outlets. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2023. Draws will be held every 2 weeks. Terms and conditions apply.
What does it take to be an amazing woman? Lots of me time. Amazing women are classy, fancy, and a little sassy. It's the drink for me. Cheers! Sometimes you've got to show them who's boss. Alpha male? Nah, alpha females are more amazing. Cheers to securing the bag. We make time for ourselves, for work, friends, and we certainly make time for passion. We're simply amazing. Amazing cream liqueur for the amazing woman in you.
name is Alimaka Motley. I've been here doing nails since 2017. Me being self-employed, I have realized that paying the NIS benefits me now and even when I retire. By the time I'm 65, I will be receiving contributions back from NIS. So I benefit because I'm self-employed. Anything can happen. If anything happens to you while you're at work, you've got a bad cold, you have the COVID, you have dengue, we have all these diseases that's plaguing us at the moment. NIS will be giving you back some form of money when you're ill. So I would encourage all small business persons to sign up with NIS now.
Request, repay, repeat with Ariza's FlexiCredit Evergreen Loan Facility. Qualify for a FlexiCredit with limits up to $25,000 or use your home equity to qualify for more. Extra cash at your fingertips whenever you need it, accessed using your debit card, and managed using AMI, Ariza's mobile internet experience app. FlexiCredit allows you the flexibility to top up to your approved limit any day, anytime. Already a member? Send us a WhatsApp on 423-4987. New members join today to apply. Request, repay, repeat. Use your FlexiCredit for vacations, shopping, wedding, general expenses, and more. Ariza loan terms and conditions apply. Ariza Credit Union. Your financial freedom, your future.
Isn't there something you've always wanted but just can't afford? The National Lotteries Authority's Lotto Jackpot is $136,000. Play today for chances at fulfilling that dream. Lotto, play and win a lot of money.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Thinking about your new home? Think easy. Think a Republic Bank Home Easy Loan. Think affordable. Think convenience. Think Republic.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3. Republic makes home easy.
Wow, that was such a breeze.
Own your home with ease.
So whether laying that first brick or purchasing an existing home, we've got you covered. Republic Bank will get you those keys hassle-free in no time.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Apply for a Home Easy Loan today for a chance to win a cash prize. Getting your new home is easy with Republic Bank.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Terms and conditions apply.
Rebecca Television Center. Well, 6 years after a constitutional motion against flogging in the 21st century was brought before the St. George's High Court, a trial is finally scheduled to commence during the first week of October 2023. The motion was brought by the law firm Eden Law Caribbean in 2017. The trial will be held at the St. George's No. 4 High Court before Justice Ralston Glasgow. Nisha Paul is going to tell us about that.
Flogging is a punishment in which the victim is hit repeatedly with a whip or stick. Attorney Jerry Edwin says he was shocked to discover that flogging, a form of punishment ostensibly formulated by former slave and colonial rulers, is not only still allowed under Grenada's laws, but also routinely ordered by magistrates and carried out at police stations by officers. There has been a moratorium on flogging since the motion was filed in 2017 in accordance with Section 16 of the Grenada Constitution, which speaks to the enforcement of protective provisions.
There were magistrates here that were flogging men just for traffic infractions, that was sending people out to be flogged immediately, although the law says you have to wait 14 days. It's like the death penalty. Certain sentences you must wait before carrying out the sentence. A person who is flogged cannot appeal. Well, there were magistrates that didn't care. They take you right out of the courthouse to the police station, pull your pants down, and take the beating as an enslaved person.
Edwin took issue that successive governments have not had the courage to remove the inhumane legislation from the law books.
Under the last administration, we were told that the entire cabinet is against this practice.
Yet the entire cabinet did. And we have a fantastic indication from these young people in the current government that every one of them, unsurprisingly, are totally against this barbaric practice. Yet no one stands up and says, let us end the practice of beating our Grenadian citizens like they are enslaved people.
Grenada is the only country in the entire Western Hemisphere that allows police and prison officers to flog men convicted of criminal offenses.
There are so many men who've suffered injury to their private parts. So many men who can no longer have children because of the way they were beaten. I hope the conscience of this cabinet, this government, will show itself to have a different face than the prior administration.
The constitutional motion, he says, has since received support from other members of the criminal bar, including Attorney Ruggles Ferguson, KC, Dr. Francis Alexis, KC, and Senior Attorney Anselm Clouden.
And so we believe that the removal of this law from our books would bring us into the modern era so that Grenadians, our judges, our prosecutors, we know how to punish, and we do not have to open the playbook of the slave master.
Offenses punishable by flogging in Grenada, according to law, are predisposed larceny with threat of violence and robbery with violence. For GBN News, I'm Nisha Paul.
The story to report: the Caribbean Development Bank will present a report to the Caribbean Community CARICOM within the next few weeks, outlining recommendations to fill the gap in intra-regional travel created after LIAT went out of commission. Beverly Telesford reports.
In the coming weeks, CARICOM is expected to receive a report from the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, with recommendations on how to address the issue of interregional travel. CARICOM Chairman Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit said the CDB was commissioned to conduct a study to examine Caribbean air traffic and make recommendations on how to address the problem created by the absence of LIAT.
We mandated the CDB to engage in a study and to examine air transport within the Caribbean community and to come up with some recommendations on how we should go about addressing this issue with the absence of LIAT. The CDB has completed this study. It will be to us in the next couple of weeks. They have firm numbers in terms of the cost. They're looking at an 8-year or 7-year program cost. And I'm hoping that we can get the buy-in of all of us in respect to this entity, which we believe will complement what CAL is doing, will complement what Caribbean Airlines and others are doing.
Skerrit said Caribbean Airlines, CAL, and other regional carriers, such as Inter-Caribbean Airlines and Bahamas Airlines, are among the regional carriers that are attempting to fill the void left by LIAT. Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley announced that his government had received and accepted the CAL strategic plan to procure additional equipment for expanded operations in the region. He announced that the airline was in talks with the Barbados government, and Prime Minister Mia Mottley confirmed that they will be signing an agreement with the airline soon.
We actually are about to sign an agreement with CAL if it hasn't been signed by the airport, even as we've spoken. As Prime Minister Skerrit said, this issue is not a simple issue. And the truth is that we have suffered from a significant reduction in seat numbers. We believe that there is enough space for CAL, for Inter-Caribbean, and for any other mechanism that we resolve. And if you dig deep into the industry, and you can talk to CAL, you can talk to others, part of the constraint is the absence of capacity of getting planes and pilots. And therefore, you can't just snap your finger and have access to both.
Motley said a cooperative approach to the resolution of the issue of interregional travel is needed, rather than depending on a single airline to remedy the issue. Reporting for GBN News, Beverly Tellisford.
30 individuals will be part of a 3-week training at the T.A. Marisha Community College in the area of nutrition and hotel management. The program, which is the first of its kind, will be facilitated by Chinese instructors. Rina Thomas has this report.
The Department of Public Administration, in collaboration with the Ningbo Polytechnic University in China, the People's Republic of China, and the T.A. Marisha Community College, has created an opportunity for 30 persons to undergo the 3-week training program, which will include the areas of food preparation, restaurant service, and housekeeping, among others. Participants will comprise students from TAMCC, NULO, and members of the public. It will be facilitated by tutors from the Ningbo Polytechnic University, with an aim to further develop the tourism and hospitality sector in Grenada. Minister for Tourism Lennox Andrew, at the official opening of the training on Monday, said the initiative is aligned with the government's transformational agenda.
And that's why we take so much pride in ensuring that we educate and we develop and we make access to education as easy and as cheaply as possible, so that no one is left behind when it comes to educating. For us, Grenada must be like a big school, where opportunities are available for all to be what they want to become.
This is the first ever bilateral training on island facilitated by the Ningbo University, and more of this type of collaboration is anticipated going forward. His Excellency Wei Hong Chien, Chinese ambassador to Grenada, spoke of upcoming programs that were made possible with the collaboration of both countries.
On behalf of the Chinese Embassy, I extend warm congratulations to the commencement of this first on-island training program of nutrition and hotel management. Another 2 training programs, which are is called nursery and maternity care, health care, will be held in September. Another one is bamboo weaving techniques, will be held in October this year. These 2 training programs are also very important.
Permanent Secretary in the Department of Public Administration, Lindonna Marshall, encouraged the participants to take full advantage of the training.
So do your best to demonstrate interest and participate fully in all that the program has to offer. The field trip, as we mentioned, is something that we believe is going to add significant value to the program. So again, all of the holistic and comprehensive program that is before you, we encourage you to embrace all of it and ensure that the expertise and the experiences that you are going to participate in is going to add value.
The 30 trainees will receive certificates at the conclusion of the training program. Ningbo University is also facilitating an exchange program for Grenadians auto maintenance students. 12 students and faculty members from TAMCC's auto maintenance program will leave the island for China on Friday for additional training in their chosen field of study. GBN News, Rina Thomas.
Beauty, intelligence, grace, and poise are featured in this evening's GBN Eyesore segment. It's time to take a peek at St. Joseph's Convent, Grenville, Miss SJC 2023.
The lovely ladies of the St. Joseph's Convent St. Andrew are gracing tonight's ISA. Miss SJC 2023 was held over the weekend at the Deluxe Cinema in Grenville, St. Andrew. Miss Jasmine Clark, representing Harford Village, walked away with the crown. Miss Telescope Treasure Edwards was the first runner-up, and Miss Crochet Kayla Sylvester, second runner-up. Congratulations to the beautiful ladies. Our ISA line is open for your submissions via WhatsApp at 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
After the break, former disaster coordinator encourages disaster preparedness during the festive season. Back in a moment.
We've been working to improve our services at the NIS, and we'd like to share some of the improvements with you. We understand that the cost of basic goods is rising globally. To address this, we are pleased to announce a 25% increase in the weekly minimum pension payment from $46.40 to $58. We have also adjusted our minimum survivor's benefit payment to a percentage of the age pension minimum. Widows, widowers, and dependent parents will now receive 100% of the minimum rate, or $58 weekly, while children will receive 50% or $29 weekly of the deceased pension. We believe this change was necessary to ensure that our survivors receive the support they need. If you have any questions on how this impacts you and your family, please contact our informational hotline at 440-6647 or visit www.nisgrenada.org. Thank you for allowing us to be your Social Security provider.
Wait and see. Whenever we touching the vacancy, we just climb over the gate and see. Boom! It's carnival time at Courts Ready Cash. So visit your nearest Courts Ready Cash for instant carnival prizes, tickets, and much more. With your loan of $3,000 or over, come home to Courts Ready Cash this carnival season and enjoy flexible payment terms, hassle-free service, and fast approval. All you need is your ID, proof of address, a payslip, your job letter, and 2 references. Simple as that. Follow Ready Cash on Facebook and Instagram for your updates and in our in-store carnival parties and our carnival workout session. It's time for carnival at Courts Ready Cash. Visit shopcourts.com for details. Come home to Courts Ready Cash. We are ready when you are. Everybody push something in the air.
And so it begins. A journey like none other. Every moment has the potential to be unforgettable. Bring home a piece of the tropical green forest with every emerald. Capture the sparkling light of flawless water in a diamond. Make the sunrise and sunsets last forever. With precious colored gemstones, the essence of happiness is in our most precious memories. So, when it all comes to an end, bring home something that will last forever. Colombian Emeralds International. Bring home more than a memory.
What powers my smile? The sun. And it does a whole lot more. Through programs of the PURC, I use the sun to produce my own electricity. So can you, using the sun and other sources of renewable energy. Sign up today at PURC.
Do you know, when you play the games of the National Lotteries Authority, you are supporting sports, culture, and nation building in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martinique?
Hi, I am Junior Murray, cricket coach, sports enthusiast, and a former West Indies cricketer. I endorse the games of the NLA 100%. For the past 40 years, the NLA has been funding many sporting activities, including competition for schools and clubs, and for athletes to participate in overseas tournaments such as the Carifta Games and regional cricket tournaments. For those reasons, I play the game of the NLA. Even if I do not win, I know Grenada always wins.
Yes, when you play all the games, the NLA in turn supports sports, culture, and nation-building activities throughout the Tri-Island state.
This is GBN. We've got the means, the power, and the medium.
Network News, welcome back. Officials of the National Insurance Scheme will be traveling to the Sister Isle this Friday as they continue their stakeholder consultations to discuss the recommended changes to their Social Security program based on the 13th actuarial review. The changes include the gradual increases in the pensionable age and contribution rate. Chairman of the NIS, Philbert Lewis, in his last interview with the media, said several reviews were done over the years with suggested changes that were not implemented. However, he said some of these changes are being implemented to ensure that the public can benefit fully from the NIS and that the scheme is not on the road to collapse.
What will eventually happen is that making these changes will ensure that persons now and persons to come will receive a reasonable pension, and the scheme will be sustainable for years to come. If we don't make these changes, unfortunately the scheme will die. But as pragmatic people, we will not allow the scheme to die. We will make the changes. We would like the public to understand the rationale for the changes. We would like the public to ask questions as we go along. And these changes, we have to make continuous changes as we go along.
All right, so the consultation, which is open to everyone, will be held on Friday at the Mermaid Hotel's conference room in Hillsborough from 5 to 7 p.m. Former disaster coordinator at the National Disaster Management Agency, Sylvan McIntyre, is appealing to Grenadians not to become complacent about natural hazards during the festive season, which falls during the Atlantic hurricane season. On Friday, several people reported feeling the impact of a 4.9 magnitude earthquake, which affected Grenada, Venezuela, and Trinidad and Tobago. McIntyre said the earthquake is a reminder that Grenadians should be on the alert for natural hazards at any time, even during the festive season.
The Friday issue of the earthquake is a reminder that even if you are within the hurricane season, that different things, hazards can impact.
Yes.
And it shows that all-round preparedness and all-round readiness is something that you cannot and should not run away from. And this is why this information platform and Monday morning is very useful for everyone to chime in, because we would just come in with something that might be written that one can follow, or we may just chime in on the recent events and how people can prepare to deal with them. So we can touch a little on the earthquake readiness too, and tell people in the event that you see such things,
I will agree.
what to do and what can happen.
Last year, on July 30, a freak storm struck while patrons were enjoying an outdoor activity, bringing rain, lightning, and thunder showers. Lightning, McIntyre said, can be very dangerous, and he advised on what to do if caught in an open space during a lightning strike.
Lightnings are also very dangerous.
Yes.
The ones we see happening recently happen to be the fog lightnings. We were not used to it too much in this part of the globe in recent years, but I think we've seen over the last 15, 20 years thereabout that the fog lightnings happen to be hitting us more regularly.
A couple of years ago, we had someone being struck by lightning. Was it in Petit Martinique once, if I'm right? Petit Martinique, Carriacou, and there was a loss of life for that.
And there was one time the call where I think there was a fisherman who got struck out at sea and actually died. And with these events as well, you will have what is called water spout. That is the things that look like tornado, the spiraling movement from the clouds onto the water. It's actually a pressure.
Yes.
And it sucks up and pulls into the atmosphere. And that's why sometimes people see fish up in the mountain or in the land and find out where did it come from. These water spouts are sometimes responsible for drawing them up. And this is sometimes that kind of information is also very good for fishermen, because fisher folks and people who think, well, it's an exciting thing to see. They would take their boats and go close to it, but it's always so dangerous.
Coming up in the sports news, the first phase of Netball Grenada Netball Festival to climax this weekend.
When you need your prescription filled, or you require non-prescribed medication, supplements, or all your personal needs, visit Gittins Healthcare at locations on Wall Street, Grandans, Victoria Street, Granville, and Central Deputy Street, Wall. Gittins Healthcare aims to provide an exceptional personalized pharmacy experience. Additionally, children under 5 and adults 55 years and over will enjoy 10% discount on purchases of $20 and over on prescription medication. Stop settling for less. Visit Gittins Healthcare, where your health is our priority.
Level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
What do you know? The NLA is giving you an additional chance at winning in its Crazy Cash Second Chance Parish Giveaway. Yes! Starting June 10th, enter your non-winning Daily Cash 4, Daily Pick 3, or Playway tickets valued at $12 or more in a single purchase for a chance to win over $25,000 in cash. Be sure to write your name, address, and contact info on your entries before dropping them in the NLA branded box at your favorite authorized agent. Draws will be conducted every Friday starting June 23rd to July 21st, 2023 for every parish. That's a total of 105 draws of $250 each. Promotion ends July 14th, 2023. Must be 18 or older to participate. Other terms and conditions apply. NLA, making your dreams come true.
Welcome to the SMC's Crescendo to Grenada's Panorama 2023. And you see pan business, that is we business.
My name is Andrea Isdale. I am 21 years old and I am from St. Paul's. For me, playing pan was like second nature because like any other community-based organization, when you grow up seeing your parents do something, it's natural for you to want to do it. So it wasn't a choice, it wasn't a decision. It was just a natural thing that I knew that I actually had to do. So it was no choice. At the Panyard, we have on Thursdays is our in-house Panyard Liming Day. So we have different things. So tonight is our cricket night. We have games night. We try to bring in persons to speak, to have motivational nights, to get players more inspired and wanting to play the pan more and to have a greater love for the pan. So that's some of the things that we do. It's definitely okay to come and see us practice. We always put on a show, whether it's practice or performance or a gig. Our days for practice are Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m.
Thanks for joining us, sporting fans. On Saturday, July 15, netballers across Grenada will see the climax of the first phase of the Netball Grenada Netball Festival. After 7 weeks of intense training, the netballers will be afforded the opportunity to display their skills on the court. Liebert Alexander is the president of Netball Grenada.
from the initial stage of the grassroots program, we would have had something like 125 participants in the event, and gradually it would have grown through the process when it would have started. So hoping to see a massive turnout, and not just a turnout with the numbers that we are basically having at present, but also to, you know, we look at this activity to pull and to draw more young persons into the program. So by next year we have a great amount of persons participating to enhance the netball, the sport netball in Grenada.
Netballers from the Sister Isle of Carriacou will join their counterparts in Grenada for Saturday's activity at River Road Hard Court.
We had the students training in 4 areas in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Carriacou and Petit Martinique, let me say, they would be down. They were coming in on Friday for this event as well. They would have trained also in St. Mark's, Victoria Hard Court, St. John's, at the St. Peter's Catholic School, Paul's, also St. Joseph Convent, Grenville, the Vendome Hard Court, and at the Tantine netball facility.
Netball Grenada is also expecting to put on a 40-plus competition, the same on the same day. The St. Andrews Football League will see an increase in prize money for the 2023-2024 season, carded to kickoff on Saturday, July 22. SAFL, the longest-running league in Grenada, has secured a 3-year partnership with Grenville Cooperative Credit Union valued at $150,000. Peter Blair, president of SAFL, during a recent press conference, announced that the league's new sponsor will provide the monetary prizes for the 2021-2022 season, and teams will see an increase in prize money for the 2023-2024 season.
As it comes to the question of challenges we had in the past as regards transportation for teams, prize money, there has always been this talk that you play in this competition and you don't get money. I could guarantee you that for the next 3 years, that prizes, prize money, and other prizes and other incentives are guaranteed. I must also say too that this year, for the first time, the team in the first division will be playing for a first prize of $5,000. This is the first. Only last season we were playing for $1,500, and within recent time we have increased by 100%. So the teams that took part in the competition last year and won prizes, they are getting $3,000 for the first prize.
The SAFL president noted that the league is now in a better position to meet its financial obligations.
That sponsorship also covers the various teams that plays in the GFA competition. As I said, we had the U15, the U19, and the seniors. And one of the biggest problems over the years was actually paying bossmen after they work with us. At one time, there were bossmen refusing to work with SAFL because we couldn't meet our financial commitment to them after games. But that could be something in the past. Once men play, they get their bossmen will get the payment on time.
All right, so the St. Andrews Football League currently has 3 teams participated in competitions: the under-15, under-19, and senior teams. Grenada's shot put and discus athlete Johan Jeremiah has been accepted into Siena Heights University in Michigan, where he will pursue his master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. Here's what we can tell you. The former GBSS student will also take up a post as a graduate assistant at the school and serve as their throws coach. Johan graduated from the University of South Florida this year with a bachelor's degree in biological health sciences with magna cum laude honors. Good for you, Johan. He is a former student of the Central Arizona Community College. Congrats. That's the sports news for now. We'll be back in a moment. With the 2030 timeline set for attaining the 17 Sustainable Development Goals just 7 years away and the SDG goals at the halfway point, Barbados has told fellow United Nations member states that the time for decisive action is now, as Agenda 2030 is a plan to save the world.
If we are to be guardians of our future generations, then we must ensure that we do everything in our power to secure a sustainable future. Earlier this year, the Secretary General of the United Nations proposed a stimulus to assist with advancing the 2030 agenda. The SDG stimulus aims to offset challenging market conditions faced by developing countries and to accelerate progress through the SDGs through investments in renewable energy, universal social protection, decent job creation, healthcare, quality education, sustainable food systems, urban infrastructure, and, of course, digital transformation. The stimulus also calls for a significant increase in financing for sustainable development to the tune of at least $500 billion per year. This is why, my friends, the Bridgetown Initiative is so important, as it creates access to resources which states can use to remedy their crises and finance much-needed adaptation and mitigation measures, in particular with respect to the climate crisis.
The 17 goals were adopted by all UN member states in 2015 as part of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which set out a 15-year plan to achieve the goals. This story to report 7 months after being arrested and charged in connection with the discovery of a motor car containing narcotics and ammunition, a High Court judge in Guyana has denied a police constable's request for bail. We get more in this Tiana Cole report.
High Court Judge Sandil Keeson has denied 22-year-old police constable Julius Cambridge bail. Cambridge was among 3 persons nabbed at a roadblock with a large quantity of cocaine, marijuana, and illegal ammunition. It is alleged that on January 16, 2023, at Coven John, East Coast Demerara, Cambridge, along with 2 others, had 170 grams of cocaine and 9.4 kilograms of cannabis in their possession for the purpose of trafficking. Further, it is alleged that on the same date and at the same location, they had 2.38, 2.40, and 11.9 mm rounds of ammunition when they were not holders of firearm license. Cambridge was charged along with Police Constable Albert Beresford, 29, and Sheldon Benjamin, 32, of Vigilance East Coast Demerara. They had pleaded not guilty to the charges at their initial court appearance on January 25th before Magistrate Fabi Azor at the Coven John Magistrates Court. They were all denied bail and remanded to prison. Cambridge's lawyer Uburn Alicock approached the High Court for bail. At the hearing, State Prosecutor Simraj Ganraj objected to bail, citing that the narcotics and ammunition were found next to Cambridge inside the vehicle. In handing down his ruling, Keeson stated that though he acknowledged that a person is innocent until proven guilty, his disappointment lies with the fact that a member of the disciplined services would find himself in such circumstances connected to the allegations of the nature. In refusing the bail application made on Cambridge's behalf, the judge said that he found no special reason to grant him bail.
Further afield, member states of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, have said Ukraine can join the military alliance when allies agree and conditions are met. Their stance came after Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky criticized what he called the absurd delay to accession. In a communique, NATO said it recognized the need to move faster but would not be drawn on a timeline. Earlier, Mr. Zelensky said there seems to be no readiness to invite Ukraine to NATO or make it a member. He's now in the Lithuanian capital where the summit is happening. Kyiv accepts it cannot join NATO while it is at war with Russia, but wants to join as soon as possible after this. But Mr. Zelensky He, tweeting before Mr. Stoltenberg's comments, said that the lack of an agreed timeline meant his country's eventual membership could become a bargaining chip. NATO might not have said when and how Ukraine might join the alliance, but diplomats emphasized that they had set out a clearer path to membership, and the lengthy application process had been shortened significantly. We can tell you, too, that the alliance had recognized Ukraine's army was increasingly interoperable and more politically integrated with NATO forces, and it would continue to support reforms to Ukraine's democracy and security sector. Diplomats also highlighted the creation of a new NATO-Ukraine Council meeting on Wednesday for the very first time, which will give Kyiv the right to summon meetings of the whole alliance. That's Around the Globe. We'll be back to remind you of the headlines. This is the Grenada Broadcasting Network. A reminder of the headlines. Calvin Frank to be sentenced on July 28 for the gruesome killing of his former lover, Lindy Skinner Moraine. Prince Harry and Alden Joseph await sentencing for rape on July 28. Grenada hosts 56th annual meeting of the Caribbean Food Crops Society. Also in the broadcast, Barbados tells UN member states time for decisive action on attaining the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Internationally, NATO refuses to give Ukraine timeline on joining the alliance. Plus in the sports news, first phase of Netball Grenada Netball Festival to climax this weekend. If you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online, gbn.gd, or on GBN, Grenada Broadcasting Network Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. I'm Kenroy Baptiste. That's all from us in the newsroom. But now, have a good night.